excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Shot from the Point Dead. Featuring the great Colossal is Crazy, and other than Dead on Dave from Dead on Dave Productions. I'm going to hit this off because we have a lot to talk about. Before we get, I'm going to put a little monologue in. Every time I've wanted to talk about No Fuckers, new Lieutenant Corbus, some other bigger news came up, or it just didn't seem appropriate, or I got DDoSed, and I've actually been talking to Roman offline a little bit, and I wanted to run this by him before we talked about it. So I'm going to talk about that, and then we'll get into Keemstar v. Zoe Burger. So that I think that's the way we're going to deal with it. All right. Here's the thing. No Fuckers and Lieutenant Corbus. Me and Clown, for the most part, agree very strongly about the way children should be treated on this platform. The problem is, Lieutenant Corbus is a completely different animal than what we're used to. She's, as Clown says, generally maybe one of the better commentators on all of YouTube. The problem with that is she's 12 years old. So that if she, I can sit there and complain about Nick Cash not being able to take criticism, right? But I think Nick Cash is 26, she's 12, and for whatever reason, and I can't really get to the bottom where all this started. No Fuckers and Lieutenant Corbus got it on at some point. And it resulted in Lieutenant Corbus taking pictures of his girlfriend, who was an innocent party, saying some really horrible stuff. From what I understand, Roman said some stuff that's probably inappropriate too. But he went on to make a video basically telling him, look, there's no war here because it can't happen. I'm not fighting with a kid. And what I'm going to set up to you, I'll give it to Clown first, and I'm going to give it to Dead on Dave. Is Lieutenant Corbus the perfect all-star reason? And I don't care how bright she is. I don't care how smart she is. And I'm not even here to criticize her and what she does. But is she the reason why children should not be able to have full-blown channels? I don't think
that's a reason at all. I'm not saying that's a reason. I think she should absolutely have her channel, 100%. And I think if she's taken off YouTube, I see that as censorship, and I'm very against that.
Okay.
So she should absolutely have her channel, 100%.
But she's a child. She doesn't have the same rights as an adult would. And, she can always pull the victim card. She can always say that she was bullied. I'm not saying she would.
She's got a strong card there. But to say she's not allowed to be on YouTube is wrong.
To run her own. I'm saying to run her own.
Right to be on YouTube.
To run her own channel as a commercial business. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I don't see a real tough 12-year-old. I see in Lieutenant Corbus what I see in the stories I used to read about the Little Rascals and our gang in the 30s. I see a child earning an incredible amount of money, much the way we've seen in the United States with child actors. And all the horror stories. You can have stories like people like Corey Feldman and even Will Wheaton and guys like this tell the horror story. That's what I think she is. I don't know.
She have a platform on the internet, on YouTube, wherever, is wrong, in my opinion. She absolutely has that right, as anyone her age would as well.
Do you mean legal right?
Do it is not right, in my opinion, and she has the absolute right to have her own channel and say whatever the fuck she wants to say, and to say otherwise is censorship.
Yeah, wait.
Okay, YouTube. She's
not an adult, Clown. Clown, she's not an adult. She's not an adult.
So.
So what? Well, so she can. But here's the thing: she can go around and bruise Roman, bring up his girlfriend, and do all these things.
What she's done is right with Roman, and she deserves. Again, this is a
harsh criticism for a 12-year-old.
Deserve criticism for it. This is the hard question, and it's brutal. She does deserve criticism for it, but then I'm against criticizing children.
Sure.
So it's really fucking hard, and it's not an easy thing. And I think Roman did the right thing with his video.
Absolutely.
As in fairness, if I was in the same position, trying to put myself in Roman's shoes, I would have done exactly the same thing. He cannot make a video directly flaming her, directly targeting her.
No, he can't.
Now, you could say he did that by making a video about her in the first place. Sure, I understand. But in his shoes, I wouldn't have done anything differently, and I think he handled it very well.
I think he did the best he absolutely could. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not criticizing Lieutenant Corbus. I'm not going to do it. She's a 12-year-old girl. She's only a little... God, she looks like my daughter. It's really
so fucking hard to criticize.
But I can criticize her parents. And whether you think it's censorship or not, I don't think a 12-year-old girl should be parading around a lot. Whether it's legal No, I'm not denying that she has the legal right to do it. I think YouTube makes certain exceptions for hate speech. Maybe they should make certain exceptions for such stuff like this. I think
there
her
are certain
family.
Exceptions. I do agree that there should be certain exceptions, and I've seen some exceptions over the years.
You just don't think that's one of them.
But she's not one of them.
Really?
No.
That's just a fundamental disagreement I have with you.
To say within 99% of things that she wants to say.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. I just want to, Dave. What do you think about this? I know you're a little more on Clown's side on this one.
Well, a little bit here. Basically everything that Clown just said, I agree with the one caveat. This being, her parents are a big factor here, and it seems very apparent that her father, at the very least, is in some way involved. Not as a writer; she's already done a very good job of dispelling all of that shit. But they know what she's doing. They understand it, and they know her better than we do. I'm a very big believer in case-by-case situations. I do like sometimes generalizations are completely fine in some cases, but most of the time, when you find the exception and not the rule, the rules need to be altered for that exception. And I think Lieutenant Corbus might be one of those cases.
You want to tear her ass apart? I mean,
no, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying that is on the YouTuber that decides to go after her. Now, just like she has to face all the repercussions that she does face, by the way. She gets the same amount of hate that she does in comment sections, like everybody else fucking does.
That's true.
Now, any YouTuber that she attacks and subsequently goes back after her, they know the inherent risks of going after a 12-year-old. I think in that situation, whatever happens to her or to that other YouTuber is completely fair within the realms of this situation. It's unique. We don't see this.
It's such a shit.
Now,
It's
any
such
other
a
12-year-old, I'm with
disgusting
you.
shit
If
show,
they
yeah.
And by the way, Tommy, the second she shows that she cannot handle it, everything I just said goes away.
But she can't. She probably can't. I got to be perfectly honest with you.
To this point, almost 700,000 subscribers. Because she hasn't fucking broken yet.
Yeah. Well, has anybody really went after her, though?
If she breaks, it's not on her, though. It's on the people that are trying to break her.
And her parents. And that's something that they're going to have to deal with.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, Clown.
Possibly, if it gets too much for her. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, geez.
As I understand it, her brother is certainly the one helping her and pushing her on to make these videos.
Nice guy.
Less so the parents. That's from what I understand.
I got to be honest.
He's certainly not the one writing the scripts, as a lot of people surmised and theorized.
I find that
She's
guy.
dispelled that. She says it's not true.
I don't believe that for a second. I believe
I don't buy it.
She's writing her own scripts. She's
Really?
saying things that she wants to say. I don't believe she has any other third-party involvement other than some perhaps minor editing, which she has credited.
Oh, it's kind of funny, Clown, you say that. In her last video posted a month ago, she actually talks about that very thing. And she does have other writers. She talks about them, and she credits them at the end of every one of her shows. It's not her brother, and it's not her father, but she does work with, get this, other teenagers. She's working with a 14-year-old Brazilian teenager, and she cited him as a source.
Really?
I believe that was some editing.
No, she had full writing. She gave him a writing credit.
Was it writing? Was it writing
Really?
her script? I don't
helping partly. She talks about the editing. In her last video, she said she did 100% of the editing, and some of the writing was done by a 14-year-old Brazilian YouTuber.
Well, I tell you something. I have to agree with this degree. I think because me and Clown have just basically come to. He doesn't think this falls under the category where you do get involved. I think it does fall under the category. I mean, you can decide what you want for yourself. But I got to be honest with you, where I will not. And if you notice, I didn't even put her picture in the thumbnail. I do think, I don't care who's writing for her. I think her parents should be disgusted. If my kid was running around behaving like that, I don't care how smart she is or what her IQ is or anything like that. I absolutely, without a doubt, I wouldn't want my kid to come off like that. She's
I would shut that shit down too.
I shut that shit down. I mean, I don't care how smart she is because she's not allowed to be a kid. So I'm going to criticize her brother, her parents, or anybody that's going around allowing her to do that. And you know what? She could fire off some Twitter shit to me. I'll just put you on mute. I don't give a shit. Because that is not the way. I don't care how bright she is. I don't care how intelligent. I don't care if she has a 170 IQ. You are not allowing a child to be a child. And I do understand it's probably difficult for her because if you put her around kids her own age, she probably can't even connect with them. And I tell you something, you know what happens when 18, 19...
You're making a lot of theories here, Tommy.
Well, I tell you this. I tell you this. Take a look at her at 18. Take a look at her at 18.
Sorry?
I guarantee you that is not right. I'm telling you, a kid should not be in that adult world. This is wrong. This is wrong, and this is my moral ground. Maybe you disagree, and I respect you disagree with me. This is where kids don't belong. This is an adult realm, adult entertainment.
But let me ask you this, Tommy. If they don't belong here to create content, do they belong here to view it? Because, I mean, what's really the
I would leave that onto the
difference?
parents. I would absolutely leave that onto the parents.
No.
Well, then it's got to go both ways.
No, I don't think so.
You
I
can't
don't.
stop this. We used to have kids playing Call of Duty, and everyone says, "Oh, well, kids can't play Call of Duty because it's an adult game." Oh, bullshit! I mean, come on.
Well, that's up to me.
It's been this way since forever.
Yeah.
You know, ever since. Who are the primary people who use the internet? They're people her age and slightly above.
No, that's true. No, you're right
teenagers.
about that.
They
100%
dominate
right.
the fucking community.
I find it
They
just
are
repulsive.
her age to up to 16, 17. These are everyone who's in the chat, and I'm not looking at the chat, but I guarantee you 75%, if not more, are in this age bracket.
Sure.
Guarantee you.
No, you're right. No, you're absolutely
But
right.
they can watch it, but they can't create it themselves.
Yeah, see, I don't agree with that. I can't get behind that.
No.
Now, if YouTube
She
was a
has the
platform,
absolute right to make the content that she
I'm not
wants
saying she doesn't have the right. I'm saying YouTube should step in. No one.
well, see, now if YouTube was a platform that was designed that's specifically only 18 or 21 and up, I would 100% agree.
Well,
with
it's
you.
not, yeah.
But it's not. It is for everyone to view and
I think-
create. That's the magic of YouTube,
I
right?
don't know.
So you got to follow within confines.
You can't say that too when we're all in this. Like, I know you guys don't agree with this thing. 17, 20. It's about right. You can't say this when we're worrying about bullying in school and kids killing themselves and all this other SJW crap we hear. And you can't take both sides of this. If she, I mean, it's such a. I hate when kids did this when I was a kid. Like, it's such a punk move. And that's what she is to me, or at least her caricature. Because I don't think any of this is her fault. She's a punk. Her caricature is a punk. And I can't do it. It's just like a girl that slaps you in the face. You can't slap her back. I hate that. An adult woman
Well, there's
slaps you in the
obviously
face.
a double
She has
standard.
a very strong card. She has.
Yeah.
It's a double
I think she
standard.
fell that-
I guarantee
she fell
she'd
into
pull
the
it.
card.
I guarantee
she
she'd pull it.
didn't go out of her way to acquire this card in inverted commas. No, I think it just came to her naturally, and I've never seen it before. That's why she's kind of a special case.
Exactly.
A kid with her intelligence on YouTube. I've never seen anything like it before, so nobody anticipated this. Actually, saying that, I did
She is a
anticipate
prodigy.
it a bit. It was obviously Pyrocynical who gave her the first nod, the first promotion, and that's why she blew up. I was actually in the Skype chat when we first discovered her.
Yeah.
And so I was one of the first people that saw her channel when she was on I think she was on about 2,000 subscribers, maybe less than that. Obviously, it went to Reddit, and Pyrocynical made a video on it, and the history dictates after that. But I was one of the first people, and I saw back then, I was like, this could be a huge problem.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to fucking rub against her here. That's quite a weird pun. I didn't mean that to sound. Yeah.
It's kind of appropriate with the second subject.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to cause friction within the community because it was such a special case. And so at that point, I was like, and I saw it was quite a fucking weird to see. Like, everyone else in the community was like literally sucking her dick. And I know she doesn't have a dick, but everyone was sucking it. And just like brown nosing her and etc. etc. I was like one of the few people that didn't. She followed me on Twitter. I never followed her back.
No.
I was like, no, I'm not having anything to do with this.
And that's your
Because
personal
I knew,
choice.
I
That's
knew it
your
was going to be a
personal
fucking
choice.
problem. I knew it was going to be a problem. And everyone was singing her praises, saying, "Oh, what an intelligent kid!" You know,
Sure.
She creates great content for her age. All this shit.
Sure, she does.
And I was like, yeah, the content is good. I'm not going to have anything to fucking do with it because I know this.
Because
is
you
gonna
have
be
a moral
fucking
qualm
problem.
with
I know this
it,
is
though.
gonna finish.
I mean,
Exactly.
so
And-
what's wrong with my moral qualm? And I think something should be done with that. For the same reason you're uncomfortable is the same reason I don't want kids put in this position. I don't want their parents walking them around like they're a piece of goddamn meat just to bring in YouTube revenue. I find that unacceptable.
Tommy, here's the thing, though. She's not the only child savant in the world. She just happens to be one of the only child savants in YouTube when it comes to being able to spit shit like she does.
Very much a special case.
We see child savants in college. We see child savants in music and acting and all these other things. And they, in some cases, they have parents that protect them. And they wind up just fucking fine. And others,
true. No, that's
they
right.
don't. They'll get fucking molested. They'll get into drug problems. And that's awful. It's horrible. But it is a risk that both the person and, more importantly, the parents.
The risk, it's only the
willingly
parents
go
because
into.
she's going to do what she's told. She's still a kid. Even if she's the smartest girl in the room, she's still a kid. And I don't see a
Very
child there. They're not treating her like a child, and I think it's unhealthy.
You don't, but her parents see something
and her parents
else, they
ultimately,
know her.
I don't think they should be locked up and thrown away. I just think maybe YouTube should step on this particular instance, and it's a fundamental disagree with you. I find it when I see her, I find it repulsive.
Steps in, but once YouTube steps in once, it's over. The fucking the gate is open.
Well, for what? I mean, so you're making a slippery slope.
That's a big problem. That's a censorship issue.
Well, no, it's a slippery slope argument. So where's the slippery slope go from there?
I am certainly not going to be the one to tell her you should not be making this content. Never. In fact, if anything, and I'm not saying I'm going to do this, but if anything, I want to push her to keep making the content. Because she's very good at what she does.
Oh, I'm sure
she's only going to get better at it. Yeah. And we need more content creators like her, in a way.
In some ways, you're right.
With her intelligence.
She's really talented. She's great and all that stuff. But you know what? When she's 18
push that type of content. The YouTube content itself as a whole is dying. It's dead. There's so many people that make such shit content.
Yeah.
She is not one of them.
No, I know.
And it's just incredibly insane to me, given her age, that she's the one making considerably better content than a lot of the other commentators within this community. It's shocking in a way. So I certainly do not want to be the one to say, stop making.
Yeah, when she's shaking in her fucking boots when she's 20 years old because she can't friggin' relate to anybody, can't get along with anybody.
That's a really big assumption.
It is.
I tell you something. It's assumption. It is assumption backed.
No indication of that whatsoever.
Well, first of all, you're not going to know until it's too late. And it's assumption based on the history of child actors inside Hollywood repeating that result over and over again.
If there was an indication of it, we would have seen it.
I don't think so. She's only 12. She's only 12. She's not even through puberty yet. She's not even through puberty yet. We don't know any of this stuff's going to happen, and none of it may. And I got to be honest with you. When they're looking back, she didn't have a childhood. When you look back and she can't get along with anybody because she's constantly surrounded by adults, and it's a big joke. Remember Lieutenant Corbis when she becomes a laughingstock when she's getting older, and we're gonna watch her.
You don't know that she doesn't spend an hour or two at the park a day. There's no way of knowing that. We don't know if there's balance in her life. I think it's kind of unfair to make that assessment too, that judgment. We don't know that.
Here's the thing: if somebody's, I got to be honest with you, I am uncomfortable. You're right. I don't. I'll pull that back, but I do know this. When kids are in an adult environment for that long, look at Tiger Woods when he was hanging around all those freaking soldiers all the time, never around other kids. He's a fucking weirdo. All sorts of stuff.
I'm sorry, but the internet itself is an adult environment.
No, you're right about that.
It's like you cannot avoid it.
Well, here's what I don't want to do, because we're going to be allowed to see in 5 years.
Club Penguin. Even if you play Club Penguin, there are still adults that play that game. You're still playing with adults.
Yeah. Well, in 5 years,
you're going to get a 12-year-old that tells you that you suck.
In 5 years,
probably going to tell you to eat shit.
In 5 years, I don't want to hear this out of anybody's fucking mouth. Nobody's. Why didn't somebody step in when it was too late? That's what I don't want to hear. And I guarantee it's going to come out of somebody's mouth.
You cannot be held responsible for this.
No,
of course, because no one's when she does fall apart. When she does fall apart, she's going to be aware they are.
Their decision to make.
Yeah. Well, when I see her on the Gamer from Mars video, when she's like, "Where is she now?" and it's fucking horrible goddamn news. And you're right. No one's going to give a shit because she's going to be past tense. And I care a little bit. No, it's not a lot we can do. All we can allow her to do is parade around like a nut and nobody do anything about it.
What you can do, see, that's on her parents. You're going to make
it's definitely not on her. I'm not blaming her at all. I don't think she has zero responsibility. Zero. Let me make that 100% clear to the chat. She has zero responsibility. Zero. None. Nothing. But I got to be honest with you, the fact that somebody's not stepping. I mean, Jesus Christ! If my kid was picking on somebody at school or after school or something, like, it's my responsibility as a parent. This girl is going on and screwing around between two adults in their relationship and making a public scene about it. How could that's okay?
If you want, but you can judge her parents if you want, but you cannot judge the internet.
Yeah. Well, you probably got
perfectly said.
Other people who are making similar sorts of videos.
All right.
You just can't.
All right.
Unfortunately, she does have this card, and so it's always very, very difficult to criticize her.
Right.
And it's kind of, I was going to say, it's very unfair to make a video about Lieutenant Corbus, but who's it unfair to, Lieutenant Corbus or the YouTuber making the video? That's a fucking difficult one.
All right, let's go on to
it's almost if Lieutenant Corbus called me out for something like she did with No Fuckers, and I've got to respond, I was like, what would I do? Nothing. I think I've automatically lost even before I've even responded.
Yeah.
Automatic.
So you make that choice to ignore it. I mean, and I think that's what you got to do. You got to make that personal fucking choice. You got to take personal responsibility and decide, you know what, I'm not going to let this fucking 12-year-old mess with me. I'm just not going to say anything about it. I'm going to ignore it and could just go about my fucking life. That's how you have to treat it until she's old enough to where you can respond and then you destroy her.
Yeah. We'll all put clocks on our YouTube channel, countdown clocks,
etc. Just don't
let it go. Let it slide. She's just a kid.
Because she'll fade into irrelevance.
I have a great deal of sympathy for her, and I think that's why I'm so emotional about it, because I don't think good things are coming that way, and it's not her fault, and everybody's gonna sit there. Hey, how do you know? But when it happens, you can still call me an asshole. All right, I want a real quick ad by Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah. We're going to come back with Keemstar and Zoe Burger.
Everybody, it's Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah, rapper and artist, but you know him better as the co-host of Shot from the Point Live. From the streets of Chicago to the bright lights of Las Vegas, Real Talk rocks the stage and the digital store. Hard-hitting and thought-provoking. Check out my man, Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah.
Make sure you check out his latest release, Black Mozart, along with his latest music video, Notice Me.
All right, everybody, let's put this into perspective. This is probably what I would have headlined with had I known. Let's see, should I give this a little background, or does everybody know about it? Keemstar made a Twitter video yesterday. Let's see if I get any of the order wrong, feel free to jump in, because I definitely want to get this right. And then I'm just going to throw the ball to you guys, and you guys can throw from there. Keemstar made a video yesterday asking the question, because Zoe Burger had made a comment to the effect of, when I hit 1 million subs, I'm going to release my nudes, and everybody turns 18. I'm paraphrasing that particular day. Keemstar, I think there's definitely a lot of room for criticism there. Keemstar came back with, if she had been a man and done something like this, that would make her a quote-unquote pedo. And if a man would done something like this.
He also inferred, though, that she was doing it via DM.
I think that was a figure of speech,
and that isn't. Yes, but still, it is an inconsistency. It's not correct.
Here's the thing.
But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I feel it's just a slip of the tongue.
Well, you can give her the benefit of the doubt too.
I mean, let's state for the record now: Zoe Burger is not a pedophile or even a pedo.
No, and I know, and I know. Here's the thing about this. First of all, they're both wrong. They're absolutely 100%. This shit, using pedo as slang, has to fucking go. The fact, I totally understand why she had a visceral reaction to this, because I would have gone insane. This has to stop.
On this. It's not slang. It's not. Pedo is just an abbreviation of the word pedophile.
That's exactly what it is. It's not an Urban Dictionary. No,
and I got to be honest with you.
Pedo infers pedophile.
It's disgusting, and I can't. But I will say this: Keem did a very good drama alert, and he did point out, when she makes a comment and says something to the effect of everybody turns 18, it's irresponsible, and it does, whether she means it or not. It is marketing towards kids. She is marketing herself towards kids. But I got to be honest with you.
Like, if a man had done it, if a man was reversed in her position, then if he had done it, then yes, he'd be called a pedophile.
That's true.
And I think it would be fair to call him one.
That's true. No, that was a good point.
So there is that double standard there, but the facts remain, she is a woman. I mean, I'm sorry, but women get this one. They get it for free, and
there's all sorts of double standards that benefit men and women in different ways, and this is one that benefits women. But here's the thing:
social fucking norms.
This has to stop. It's
women who do. There is an inequality there. There is a double standard, but I think you just have to fucking accept it and move on, because it's always going to exist.
Well, it has been socially accepted. That's the thing. It has been socially accepted that these things do exist, and most people are okay with it, until you get some social justice fucking asshole who gets all crazy and their paintings up in a bunch about it, and then we go around circles for a little while. But it is socially acceptable to make that type of statement. A 26-year-old man who says, hey, and we all know that a majority of his viewers are 12-year-old girls. If he makes a video, says 1 million views, my dick's coming out on a video, we're all going to assume that not only is something more nefarious going on, but he's getting off on it. Zoe Burger has never shown one slight inclination that she gets off on the fact, like sexually gets off or aroused at the fact that 12-year-olds like to look at her boobs. You know why? Because 12-year-old boys like to look at boobies, and it's an accepted social fucking reality.
Well, I mean, to sit there, and but Keem did, he goes, so I'm asking the question, is she a pedo? And then when H3H requested on it, he said, no, it's completely ridiculous. I got to be honest with you, this pedo stuff on YouTube has to be considered unfriggin' cool, and I think that's the only way we're going to be able to fight against this. This has to be an unacceptable thing to say.
Because it's the worst thing you can call someone.
It's the worst thing you can call
somebody. To fucking troll everyone else by calling them a fucking pedophile. So the terminology is just bandied around back and forth. He's a pedo, she's a pedo, everyone's a fucking pedo. Because they know it gets to them, because you're calling someone the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I understand where she's coming from.
Use it, and it's become. I'm worried for the future, actually, and it's kind of like a really kind of loose concern, perhaps. But if this word keeps being bandied around like it is, what about when someone who is a pedophile is called a pedophile?
That's a good point.
Well, you know what it is? It's more shut up speech.
Just the internet, like we're talking about the young. The demographic, the 14 to 18-year-olds or whatever, you know, these are the people who are banding this word around. It's the same people who are saying, ironically, it's so ironic as well, who are saying, get Lieutenant Corbus off the internet. They're the same age as her. These are the ones who are saying it, mostly.
Really?
You know, it's crazy. The same people who are supporting Zoe Burger, the same people who are saying, get rid of Lieutenant Corbus, are in this same age bracket.
Whoa. I think you might be referring to me.
No, I'm not referring to you, Tommy. I think you're an exception to this rule.
Why?
I'm saying most people fall into this age bracket.
Well, I could stick up for Zoe Burger for what she does, because she doesn't deliberately and I think that's where Keem was right. Keem, when she says something like that, whether she means it or not, or she's just trying to be ironic, she is marketing towards kids, and that is wrong. She should not be marketing towards children. There's no doubt about it. But I got to be honest with you. People tuning in, like 13, I would be tuning into Zoe Burger if I was 13 years old. It's the equivalent of finding of your dad's porno in the bathroom. It doesn't come close. It doesn't come close to the slang term, the literal term of being a pedo. It's a disgusting friggin'. I mean, I hate to play language cop here, but I got to be honest with you. When you say pedo, it comes down to a criminal accusation, and it's serious. And I don't blame her for getting pissed off, but I will have some criticism for her too. Once she starts saying being cute about being 13-year-olds being 18, you put yourself in a bad position, and Keem has every single right to criticize for that. I
agree, but there's a little more context to that joke. It's not as cut and dry. What she meant by this joke, and I actually found it quite funny, because she understands her audience. She understands that everybody who's pushing for her to get 1 million subs is gonna watch this nude video. They're all gonna watch it. That's what she means. They're gonna go past the age restriction, which, by the way, she is welcoming. She's fine with her video being age restricted. She said it on this channel. She said it on this channel to you not 1 week ago. She thinks more of her videos should probably age restricted.
Yeah, no,
and
she probably
not.
said, yeah,
and
they're not.
This one will absolutely be. Now, obviously, the age restriction rules on YouTube are fucking broken, but that's where there's another piece of this puzzle. Now, I did a video on my own channel, Dead on Day Productions, today, speaking about this very thing. The parents. This is a personal accountability situation.
Absolutely.
If I've ever fucking heard one. The parents should be knowing that their children are subscribed or vigorously watching a woman play video games, shake her ass, and then state that when I hit 1 million subs, it's a nude video for all of them.
Well, you know, I always see these parents say it's too friggin' hard. It's too hard. It's too hard. I have an agreement with my daughter, and I told her my daughter does not have a right to privacy as long as she is basically I'm responsible for what she does. I've told her that basically from since she was old enough to understand it. My son will get the same rule. Here's the thing. I am able to. The rule I have with my daughter is I can check your history at any time, any place, for any reason I want. If your history is deleted, you're going to be in trouble as if you looked at something I didn't want you to look at. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's the simplest way to. These parents that say it's impossible and to take care of it. If you don't want her looking at Zoe Burger, there's things you can do to keep that from happening. It's not impossible, and it is your responsibility. What you have to do is tell your child you have no right to privacy until you are 18 years old and your ass is out the door. And they don't take that kind of responsibility.
Because they don't want to have awkward conversations with their fucking children.
Yeah.
I told a story today about my daughter, who a year ago I found that she was watching lesbian porn on YouTube because it fucking exists. That
it's out
content
there.
exists on YouTube.
If you search
my daughter was watching it. She was curious about things. So I had to have a very fucking awkward conversation with my 10-year-old daughter but we asked each other questions. I didn't get crazy with her. And you know what I didn't fucking do? I didn't once look at who created the video. You know why? Because it's fucking irrelevant. Because my failure as a parent did not catch what my daughter was doing.
Yeah.
For months.
But again,
for months I went back in the history. That is on me.
Again, though.
Not that YouTube creator. Me.
I will say this. Zoe opens herself up to serious criticism when she makes that kind of comment. Would you agree with that, Clown? I mean, it wasn't a very bright thing to say.
100% agree that she deserves all the fucking criticism she gets and more.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, she is not a pedophile.
No, it's ridiculous. And I got to be honest with you. I'm going to say it right now.
She's not marketing herself to children. I'm sorry. She made a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Okay, she made a joke, and she's an idiot, and she's not an idiot actually, but
no, she's not.
She said something idiotic.
She said something idiotic.
On her fucking mind, and she's not thinking things through, and she just had a brain fuck.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what happened. But she is not marketing to children.
Mm-hmm. No, it's
she's
ridiculous.
Getting this criticism that most people that watch her show are children. It's a fair criticism because most people do.
Even if she was marketing to children, it would make her a creep, not a pedophile. You know,
stupid joke, but it was a joke.
Yeah.
You know. So people are making way too much of a big deal of this. Look, I don't like Zoe Burger's content.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fucking watch it. I don't think she's entertaining. I don't think she's got very much character. I just find her asinine and just fucking useless, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But she's. If you want to watch that fucking content, go watch it. I'm not saying she can't be on YouTube.
No.
You want to watch it? Go fucking watch it.
Yeah, sure. But
she cannot prevent the people that watch her content.
Mm-hmm.
No.
She can make a fucking joke about it if she wants on Twitter. She can.
Yes.
And that does not necessarily mean that she is marketing to children.
Yeah.
No, this is not kids
necessarily
tube.
mean that she is a pedophile. I get the double standard, but it is not true.
Yeah.
It is just not.
This is not kids tube. She is not marketing herself as some erotic fucking Barney. I love you, you love me, let me take your virginity. She's not doing it. That's not happening.
I think somebody in the chat said, like, it's a reasonable question. How could I want what's her name?
God, the moral ramifications of what Zoe Burger are doing, that is her.
No, that's not what I'm talking
discussion,
about.
internal
I'm talking
shit.
about
That's
my supposed contradiction that I want that I want Lieutenant Corbus off and I don't want her off. Here's the difference. Here's my argument. Thank you very much, Dog Nasty. Lion Maker News at 1 million. Woohoo! No, here is the difference. She is a child, and Zoe Burger isn't a child, and I like Dave says, I don't think the parents like, oh, my kid could see that. Keep an eye what your kid's doing on the internet. I do it. It's complete. And my daughter doesn't even live with it. She only comes here once every 2 weeks, and I get her for like 2 weeks during the summer and vacation. I'm able to do it. I work with her mother. I talk to her. I teach her how to do. I talk to her mother's like, well, how do I keep an eye on this? Well, this is what we do. This is what we do, and we tell her that we're allowed to check it every time. It's not that difficult. It is not that difficult. Well, everybody doesn't know much about the computer than you did. Then don't buy your kid a computer if you don't. I wouldn't buy my.
Take it away.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy my fucking kid a
motherfucker away anytime.
Take it away. That's all it is.
There are very few people who I would say should not have a channel on YouTube. Very few people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Lion Maker is one of those exceptions.
I agree.
Sure.
But I think beyond that, there are just very, very, very few exceptions.
You're quite the libertarian, Clown. Well, I guess I'm a libertarian.
I do not like the censorship of content, and this is the.
I don't like it. I don't like it either. But would you agree would you have a problem with the Ku Klux Klan being taken off of YouTube? Because I don't have a problem with that.
Well, this is probably going to be controversial.
Okay.
And fuck you for asking this question, by the way. Right? But I actually say no. They should be on YouTube.
Well, at least you're consistent.
But fuck you for that question, Tommy. I'm going to get so much backlash for that.
No,
that's my honest answer. I do actually think that they should be allowed to be on YouTube and preach.
Here's the thing. It wasn't a setup question as much as you think.
And people should be able to respond to it.
It wasn't a setup question as much as you think, Clown, because libertarians believe that when you have something like this, a format, you like everything goes, even the hate speech. Which, by the way, as long as you're consistent, I actually could agree with that. I can back you up on that statement. If you're going to allow the Klan to be on, then you let at least you're consistent all across the board. But here's the thing: YouTube already has precedent of taking certain types of speech off that most of us can agree on. Things like right-wing hate speech, and things of murder and stuff like that. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I think kids parading around, behaving like her are a part of, that should be a part of that group. Me and you just disagree. And I don't think it's right. At least, you're a KKK sympathizer according to the chat. I didn't do that.
She's the only child who makes YouTube videos. I'm sorry.
Grand Wizard Colossal.
Fuck you for that question, seriously.
I didn't mean it like
there
that.
was a girl, I can't remember
That
her
is such
name
a
now.
loaded question.
I didn't mean it like that. I didn't.
One.
All right.
Fuck you, Tommy.
Real talk.
There
Real
was a
talk's
girl,
mad
I
at you.
can't remember her name now, but she was preaching. All
The
this,
Ku
and
Klux
people
Klan.
She didn't end up being a troll, but she was on YouTube, and she was preaching like, I hate the fucking Jews, I hate niggers, I hate all that shit, and her channel got removed, and Leafy made a video on her, I believe a few other people made a video on her. There was all that shit. And her channel ended up getting removed, and I was actually like maybe one of the few ones that said, well, they shouldn't remove her channel just because she's saying what she wants to fucking say. She's fucking nuts.
Sure.
I mean, she's absolutely nuts. But why should her channel be removed? This is freedom of speech, and people were impacting on that.
There is
allowed to
a
say what you want to fucking say, but you open yourself up to criticism, and you open yourself up to people disagreeing with you, but you get to fucking say what you want to fucking say. People shouldn't be allowed to.
So that would be a libertarian view on it, because there is the thought process out there that if you're better off letting these bigots and racists show who they are, where they're from, and how they're going about things. So I don't think necessarily. It really wasn't as loaded as you think. My question, because. I didn't want to because
it was loaded because people are gonna.
But you're consistent across the board.
It's a fucked up question. It might not have been loaded, but it was fucked up.
I don't think it was a fucked up question. I thought it was fair considering.
I stand by my answer. Though.
I don't think your answer. I don't think you gave a bad answer. I don't think, and especially since your answer is consistent and it's consistent with your own principles. Let's take a few calls, guys. Deucey Dank, you're on the air. Deucey, you gonna blow it, Deucey?
Oh my God! Yes, here we go.
I can't believe it.
Strong.
That guy made a really good video on Grade too. He blew it. Harold, you're on the air.
Oh,
Harold, you're on the air with Dead on Dave and Colossal's Crazy. Goodbye, Harold. We're gonna do. I'm not putting any bullshit. Don't take the calls. For some reason, Skype's not working again, and we're probably going to get rid of the phone number altogether and go to Discord. Matt Kind, you're on the air with Colossal is Crazy, and Dead on Dave.
Yeah, am I allowed to talk about the Corbis thing?
Yeah, you can talk about anything you want, bud.
Freedom of speech. Clown won't allow you to be fucking censored. Don't worry, you're good.
Go ahead.
So she's 12 years old, and I do think that she should be treated the age she acts, to be honest. And it's bad to say that, really, but I think she's got good content.
I do.
But
I agree, actually. Clown, what do you think? Should be treated the way she acts?
Mitigating factors, I'm afraid, because of her age. It's like it's the card again. She's got a very good card.
Yeah.
She speaks like an adult would speak, an adult commentator would speak. But at the end of the day, she is a child. Yeah. So she's got this card, and there's like no way to dispute it. And you can say, "Oh well, let's treat her like an adult." No, you can't, because at the end of the day, she is a fucking child.
She's yet to play that card yet, though.
It's brutal. It's
That's the thing. She's yet to play it yet, though. To her credit, it is yet to be played, and she's probably had a reason.
I think she's playing it inadvertently, and I know a lot of people say I love this word inadvertently, but that's what she's doing.
You know, the funny thing is she brought that up in her last video.
She's got it automatically,
you know,
no matter what. Maybe
she could play it like Obama plays it.
She's just got it.
She could play it like
I watched her last video, and she actually brought this point up.
Really?
She actually mentioned that very thing. Yeah, she said, I know what you're going to say. I can't go after her because she's a 12-year-old or whatever. You're going to bring my age as part of the reason why you can't attack me. And she called him a pussy for it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. It's a punk move. It's a punk. It's one of those girls at a club or something that starts swinging at you, and you can't do shit. You just got to let her slap you in the face, and your boys goof on you. You know?
Okay, look, I've been in a fight with a
woman starts attacking you. You can't attack back.
No, period.
That's bullshit, Clown. I got into a fight with a bull dyke once who punched me in the face, and I punched her back, and it was the worst mistake of my life because she didn't fucking flinch. She didn't flinch. I put my whole ass into that punch, and she looked at me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fucked."
Thank you for the call, Matt Kind. I do appreciate it. And I want to elaborate on my Obama comment. Like Obama never goes around calling anybody a bigot. She never does. He never does. He lets his cronies do it for him, and I wonder if what Clown's saying inadvertently, right? That's what happens if she ever gets any kind of trouble. She'll just play the card. I got to be honest.
She's probably going to say all for people criticizing me, but it doesnst really matter. She says, "Oh, I can take the criticism. Don't worry, criticize me all you want."
Yeah, right.
It doesn't matter because of what people are going to say. They're going to say, "Oh, well, you attacked a 12-year-old. You made a video about a 12-year-old." I guess that's what we're doing now. We're literally 3 grown men talking about a 12-year-old, which is a bit weird.
No, I'm not talking about 12-year-old. I'm talking about 12-year-old's parents.
If you think about it.
I'm talking about 12-year-old's parents. I didn't even put that kid.
Like the kind of inflammatory videos, like exposing her or whatever. You've automatically lost before you've even started. I couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. The only person who can do it is someone who's at the same age as her or similar enough.
There you go.
That's the only way you can do it.
I agree with you.
A 12-year-old clown. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Take her down a notch and take a year to make the video.
Snaggle Teeth, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Tommy? I was just wondering if you wanted to talk about life.
Is that you that called before?
No, it was fucking the dude's in the chat now. He's in waiting to call. I was fixing to talk shit.
Well, there's no chance I'm going to answer the call now. He fucking called my hockey show and started being a douche. Thanks. I was having a hard enough time as it was. What do you got for me?
All right, so you guys know that Celestia Vega chick, right? She was the chick making out with Zoe Burger on her video with Scarce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she was tweeting at Ricky yesterday, and she was talking shit or whatever. She said, like, I don't know if you guys want me to get real dirty on this whole thing, but she said some pretty nasty shit to Ricky.
Oh, what did she say?
Well,
to
after
Ricky?
she said that, I responded to her tweet, and I said, yo, Ricky, watch out, dude. Her pussy looks like a fucking Arby's sandwich with the meat falling out.
Stop it. What's the matter with you? This is not the topic. Get out of here, Snaggle Teeth. Joke.
He kind of stole that from Sam Kinison, too.
Yeah, I know. He's like coming on telling jokes. Do it on your own channel. Come on now.
Yeah.
God, I got so many fucking weirdos. It's ridiculous.
That's what happens when you grow.
Welcome to the internet, Tommy. Welcome to the internet.
Right. Yeah, apparently I'm big pussy. I'm big social justice warrior.
You big
Izzy,
pussy.
you're on the
How
air.
dare you.
You're Izzy on the air.
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, shit.
You're on the air with Colossal's Crazy and Dead on Dave Productions.
All right, awesome. My question is, why do you feel like there's a double standard there when Lieutenant Corbus makes videos that are geared towards criticizing people, and she can't be criticized?
Because I don't believe 12-year-olds should be criticized harshly like I criticize other YouTubers. I think that's wrong. I think once it's
go ahead.
No, that's it. I mean, I answered your question. I mean, I think it's just disgusting and wrong.
It all comes back to the card, doesn't it?
And she could play the card anytime she wants. I don't even think kids should be performing for money. I've always believed. I have this actually goes back. I would love to make it illegal. Absolutely illegal in the United States. I know this is a radical thought coming for children to actually make money in Hollywood. I absolutely believe it should be volunteer work. Volunteer work to work in Hollywood. I think it's disgusting. I think it destroys.
Jackson
There's
5
so
would've
many.
never fucking
Yes,
happened,
exactly.
Tommy.
It should
You
be
would've set music back.
exactly.
set fucking music
Exactly.
back.
I'll tell you what they
Fucking
do in
60
England. I'll tell you something. They don't let tennis players play in England until they graduate. So you don't have these 15, 12-year-old girls running around like Jennifer Capriati getting goddamn all fucked up when she's a teenager. They don't have that shit in England. It works just fine.
They do let them on Britain's Got Talent now, though. They
it's
do
like
let
a
the kids
high-pressure
on Britain's Got
environment, I
Talent.
feel. For
Yeah,
kids
it's a
to be
high-pressure
involved.
environment. Exactly.
That's a huge debate.
Yeah.
I don't think we
it's
can
like
cover
a
it
can
in
of
this one,
worms.
but I do agree with you on some level there, Tommy.
Yeah, I know. I don't like it. I don't like it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a hypocrite. But I gotta be. I'm trying to figure out where A, I am a hypocrite, and B, and maybe it's because I have kids. And I gotta be honest with you. I'd rather my kid watch Zoe Burger than behave like that and treat people like that. Roman doesn't deserve that. I mean, it would be one thing.
It was very unfair.
And you know what? If let's say me and Roman got into it,
could see his side of things on that one and try and put themselves in his position and be like, what would they do?
All right,
that's what a lot of people didn't do. So Roman had it hard, and I think he handled it as best he could. But I don't think I would have done anything differently, honestly.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, Izzy. Appreciate it. Take a situation with me and Nick, and this is not a secret. I have a lot of regrets about what I said to Nick and his mother, and it's embarrassing to me. And yes, Dave, I think about it all the fucking time. But at least at the end of the day, we're both adults. Do you want me to say I fucked your mom to Lieutenant Corbus? Is that acceptable to you? I'm asking as the audience, rhetorically. Is that acceptable to you? At least at the end of the day. And I'm going to tell you, I took shit for that, as well I should have. That's wrong. I was just going too far. I was going too far so I could win. But it was your personal choice
to make that comment.
Yeah, and I got to live with it.
Who wants to step into?
I can't pull a card.
Anybody who makes that comment towards Lieutenant Corbus is stepping into that arena.
Yeah.
And they know what could possibly come their way. Not only attack from anybody else on YouTube, but that fucking heartfelt video that we might see one day where she does pull that card and cry on camera.
Yeah.
It could happen.
She's gonna cry on camera when she said, "Why did my parents put me through this shit when I was a kid? I shouldn't have been doing this stuff to begin with." That's what I'm worried about.
So you don't think that she wants to be doing it?
No, I don't think she does with most children. I don't care how bright she is. I'm sure she's 10 times smarter than me. But what is being bright? Being bright is the speed of learning. I'm sure she could get on to nuclear physics quicker than I could. But it doesn't. She's still a child at the end of the day. It doesn't change that she's a child. It doesn't change that she's not through puberty yet. It doesn't change that she's not emotionally adult and shouldn't be participating in adult activity. That's my opinion. Mutant polar bear.
Well, you know what, though? On the other side of it, Tommy, we know adults, we know 25, 26-year-olds who have the emotional equivalency of a child.
That's
and
true.
We believe they should be
But you know what?
protected.
That's why we have the cutoff at 18. That whether you've grown up or not.
Hate to bring it up, Tommy, but what about Tommy NC?
That's where I was going with it, clown. I was not going to say him by name, but it's in reverse.
Here's my position on Tommy NC. While I said this to Keemstar when we got in our fight a couple months back, all right? While Tommy is open to all the criticism because he's an adult, because it doesn't mean I can't come after you. It doesn't mean I can't fuck your shit up. And I'm not saying and I got to be honest with you. I'm going to say it. Dave knows I felt this way for a long time, so I don't know if Tommy belongs on YouTube. Tommy's going to get really upset at me for saying that. Because we've had this conversation, and I don't know if that's the case. And the reason I'm saying it is because it comes off as and I'm going to hear from Tommy. It's because the amount of abuse that he has to take, and he doesn't always understand it. Now, do I think Tommy should be taken off? Do I think YouTube should step in? No, but I do wonder sometimes what his handlers or people that know what's going on know what it's doing to him. And there's always the other argument
about him.
There's the other argument.
Same question about him that we did Lieutenant Corbus. Where's his parents? Where are the people around him?
There's this other argument too. Like who gives a shit if he gets goofed on or what have you? Look how happy it is when he's working. I do wonder sometimes because me and Dave get calls almost once a week about who's abusing him, and it wears on me. It wears on me, so I don't know. I think I'm pretty consistent.
He's our friend. We've known him for over 2.5 years.
I love him, and I'll always defend him.
Like to see our friend hurting.
And he's not living on YouTube, but sometimes I do. I wonder out loud, and I've said it to Dave hundreds of times, that is this the right platform for him? And the argument always is, look, what would he be doing if he didn't have it? And then I'm like, I throw up my hands. So in that case, clown, I don't know. You might be able to throw Tommy in that category. I'll be perfectly honest with you.
I mean, I don't agree with you that he should. There are questions whether he should be on YouTube or not. Mm-hmm. But there are certain things he can do to limit the amount of what he sees in terms of abuse. For instance, disabling the comment section would be a big start.
Oh, that would be a great start.
If he wanted to disable that, he could disable that.
And that goes to the people that are around him, though. Once again, just like with Lieutenant Corbus, she could be doing the exact same thing, and we would not be saying anything about her because she's 12 years old, and we'd give her that benefit of the doubt. She doesn't want to see that shit. She's 12. Okay. Tommy doesn't want to see that shit. He's autistic. Okay. It's the same fucking deal.
I'm going to take shit for that.
There are steps you can take, and I'm not saying it's a perfect system, but the point is, there are certain measures you can take to prevent what you see and the negative things that.
Let me clear this up too, because I know it's going to come off of TommyC that said that Tommy NC should be taken off of YouTube. That's just not the case. But I do wonder sometimes, because I was there for the abuse, if that is the place for an autistic person. Look, I also put out there, and both Dave and Clown have made excellent arguments for Lieutenant Corbus, and because they should be on. Dave, the slippery slope. Clown, because there should be no censorship across the board. These are both principled and very good arguments. But it's just where I draw the line. And I do absolutely, I know I'm going to have a talk with Tommy about this. I do wonder about it because I don't know if it's right. Because, look, there's a certain amount of abuse that you're going to take as a YouTuber. And if you're emotionally ready to handle it. And I don't know if Tommy's always emotionally ready to handle this. So at
Tommy, I asked him the question flat out. I've posed that question to him. Do you think... and I know that's a hard question to ask because you know the answer what it's going to be.
Yeah, of course.
But I asked him about it rhetorically as well, about somebody else. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. So you can bring that up to him and talk to him about it, but you can't really expect to have an answer.
No, I don't want him to go off. I just want to be happy, but people are always going to be shitty. Thank you very much, everybody. There's a great shot from the point dead. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Cause what if Roger make it back? And he told me that I never sell cause my music real and black. Well damn, lucky I'm an independent artist. Man, I'm the hardest, disposing who I think is garbage. Flow out of pocket, oh you shining bright, put them out of sockets. Oh who can stop them? My metaphors all in your noggins. You can be the dopest, Jay and Nas can even know it ready.